Today at Coweta Raceway, red Georgia clay turns into racing mud. Get set for the thrills and spills of mud bog racing. We'll find out who will conquer the quagmire next. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the all-stars of the American Outlaw Mud Racing Association. Welcome to Coweta Raceway Park, just a little bit south of Atlanta. Tonight, it is the American Outlaw Super Shootout. Some of the best mud boggers in the country will be here. Hi, everyone. I'm Stan Rhodes, and thanks for joining us here on the Nashville Network for Trucks and Tractor Power. And, of course, joining me once again, former Bigfoot driver Rich Hooser. Rich, we've seen the monster trucks crush the cars. The tractors go the full, and tonight it's the mud racers. They're going to be shooting through the bog.
That's right, Stan. And this is the super modified class. Now, these vehicles are limited to use the factory sheet metal and frame of these vehicles. Now, they can do any modifications they want after that. Tire size is no limitation, any kind of tires, but they have to be DOT approved. Of course, engines, they can put out a lot of horsepower, but they're not limited to cubic inches because they all do have to run carburetors.
All right, that's the action we're looking for. Right now, we'll go down trackside with TNT Motorsports' Mike Goss. Mike?
Thanks, Stan. You know, Coweta Raceway is the original dirt oval in the state of Georgia. But 5 years ago, mud bogging became so popular that they transformed this facility into one of the nation's few permanent mud bogging racetracks. It's one of the best pits in the world, and that's why the top drivers and their vehicles from all over the country will be here. They each get 2 shots at this pit. They're timed by laser to the 100th of a second to determine the winner.
All right, Mike, thanks. Well, we're just about set for some mud bogging here in Newnan. Crowd is ready, so get yourself set for the Super Modifieds in action right after this. And welcome back to the American Outlaw Super Shootout. It's the 5th annual Mud Bog Nationals, and we're ready for round 1 action in the Super Modified stock class. The track, or in this case, the mud pit, is 200 feet long.
And, of course, Stan, after that, there's about 600 foot of shutdown area, and these vehicles are going to need every foot of that because they're going to be flying through this pit.
And our first guy up, Arnold McIntyre out of Griffin, Georgia, driving big man's toy, and he is a big man. He's about 6'5", and he's the current track record holder.
He's got a good run so far there. He started off there with a nice hole shot. He got a little bit crooked at the very beginning, but I think it's a good run.
Well, he's got 3.72. He set the record earlier at 3.47.
So it's not bad. You've seen right there at the beginning, he was a little bit crooked, but he straightened it up, stayed in the main ruts, a little bit of bounce at the finish line, but a good job.
All right, let's check in with Mike Goss.
What kind of time do you think it's going to take to win it?
370, maybe 365.
Okay, now you hold the track record here. What's the time, and how long ago did you do that?
About 2 weeks ago when it was 347.
Can you do it again tonight?
I don't know. It'd be rough to say.
Well, everybody's going to be gunning for that and breathing fire. Whoa! Speaking of fire, Mudaholic has got a little bit right now, and that's driven by Randy George out of Franklin, Georgia. And he's ready to go.
And all that was there, Stan, was just a little bit of raw fuel in his exhaust when he fired up. He's firing up off that starting line real good. Coming across that pit, oh, that was a good run.
Sure is. Time at 3.75, just 3/100ths of a second behind the leader.
That's not bad. He had a good hole shot. Not as quick as he would like, I'm sure. He got over to that left-hand side, close to that wall a little bit. But after that, it was straight on through.
Good run there for Randy George, and he's got a brother that also races, and this is his brother Rick George in Shag Nasty, and he's going to try and best that time of 3.72.
And what we saw there's shooting up from the hood there, it looked like steam. What that was nitrous. Now they got to clean them lines out, make sure there's no air in there so that nitrous system works good for him. And it looked like he had a lot of horsepower there, and it was working good.
Not a bad run either, 3.79, so they're all very close.
As you can see, they're all starting to come over to that left-hand side, getting close to that wall. They're all following everybody's ruts. Somebody's going to have to change them ruts pretty soon.
Well, good run so far, and coming up, we're going to find a guy that drives another USA 1, Rich. This time it is Richard Larson, and the time to beat, 3.72. And he's out of Fairburn, Georgia.
Well, as you can get a good shot of his tires right there. He's running the same on the front and the back. They're cut street tires, and it looks like they're doing an excellent job for him. A little rough at the finish line, but that was a fast run.
Uh-oh, Rich, we got a new leader here, 3.52. Good run.
Oh, it looks like his crew's happy. Look at that. He get a little pat on the back. He likes it. He's number 1.
Boy, they certainly are. Good run for Richard Larson.
Of course, we'll see in the replay, it was just a straight run. Now, look, he didn't get cut down in them ruts too bad. He got pretty close to the wall towards the end, but not as bad as some other guys did.
Well, Richard Larson coming close to that record, but not quite. Let's go down to trackside.
Richard, you're the new leader. Can you hang on and win this thing?
I believe I can. I hope I don't have to run in the second round. If nobody beats the time, I won't run in the second round. Got a pretty rough hole out there tonight, but I set a track record. I think with 352 is a track record. So this is the first time I run this truck set up like it is. I'm real happy with the way it's working. Real happy.
Well, Richard Larson ran fast, but he did not set that record. It is 3.47 by Arnold McIntyre, but Richard did run a good time at 3.52, and now it's Bobby Arthur's turn. And he's out of Prattville, Alabama.
And this Bud Light, and this is a vehicle they don't make anymore, a Chevrolet Love pickup truck. Pretty good run there. He hit that hole at the finish line just like everybody else did.
They're all running fast, this time at 3.65. It moves him into second place.
Well, that's a good spot because he deserved that with a good, clean run. Now, see, he didn't get close to that wall like them other guys, but right there, boy, he hits that hole right at the finish line and bounced him sideways a little.
A good run.
Bobby, that's second place right now. Is that one of your better times?
Best time yet since I've been running.
What's the condition of the pit tonight?
The finish line down here is sort of rough, but other than that, it's good.
Now, there you see a man who plays a very important role here at the Coweta Raceway Park. Now, right now, he's cleaning off the laser timing device. But that's not all he does. Mike Goss visits with a man who you might say has mud in his blood, Dana Watson.
Well, obviously, one of the most important ingredients to a mud bog pit is the mud. And with me is Dana Watson, the so-called mud maintenance man, the track builder here at Coweta Raceway. Now, Dana, there's a lot more involved to building a mud pit than just digging a hole and putting water in. What are some of the things you have to do to keep this track in running shape?
Well, after the first two classes, the ruts get real deep out here, and the other trucks are faster. So what we have to do is get the pole and pull it through the hole and get some angle on it and push the mud back into the ruts, where it'd be a lot safer for the other trucks to run on.
Now, does this famous red Georgia clay contribute to a better mud pit, in your opinion?
In my opinion, it does, because it's a whole lot stickier and it gives them a whole lot more speed.
Now, once the event has gotten started, your job's done, isn't it? You can sit back up in the stands, clean up, and just have a good time.
No, I have to stay out here and work the rest of the night pulling trucks out. I'm what you call a mud puppy here.
Well, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. Here at Coweta, it's Dana Watson.
This is one job I wouldn't want, but there you see Dana in action. He's going to pull up Billy King out of hot shot. He's stuck. So while they're doing this, we're going to step aside as round two is next on Trucks and Tractor Power. And welcome back to the Coweta Raceway Park. Stan Rhodes along with Rich Hooser and Mike Goss. And our current standings after the first round, it is Richard Larson leading with a time of 3.52. Question is, will that time hold up? Followed by Bobby Arthur with a 3.65. Then Arnold McIntyre a 3.72 in Big Man's Toy. Now it's Mike Henderson in Lawman out of Montgomery, Alabama.
One thing we're going to say now, in this second round, these guys that already ran in their first round, they got a chance to come back and beat their time if they like, if they want to. Now, he's got a good run here so far. His front end was a little crooked when he took off, and it might have hurt him. But, yeah, it's a little slow.
Well, 4.12. A lot of flames coming out of the side of the truck, Rich.
Yes, that's just his exhaust coming out. Now, he's running nitrous oxide and there's raw fuel and stuff in the engine, and it's just the fuel that's not being burned.
Oh, he came close to tipping over, got hung up in the ruts, but managed to keep on. 4.12 was the time for Mike Henderson. So now it's Bub Taylor in the Dixie Bandit out of Lizella, Georgia. The time to beat.
He's got some, I'm sorry, Stan, but it looks like he's got some new tires in the back.
He does.
See it real quick there because they're getting muddy real fast, and it was a good run.
It was a good run. Time to beat was 3.52. He didn't quite have it at 4.03.
Now, what had happened, he probably borrowed them tires from somebody else or he just did a tire change. He might have had some other ones that he didn't think were going to work that good in his first round, so he tried these, but it didn't quite do it, did it?
Well, that's the name of the game. You see how other people have done in the first round, and you come back and try your own strategy. And now, Paul Taylor in Country Thunder, he had a 3.74 in his first round. Let's see how he's going to do for his second run.
Here's another vehicle that don't make any more, a Ford Courier. Let's see, he's got a lot of horsepower there. Oh, it just wings through that mud.
Oh,
Good run there. tire, Stan.
Fast run, a 3.66. He did better his time just a little bit.
As you can see right there, he falls down into them ruts just like everybody else did. He gets a little sideways there, and he stays away from the wall. He keeps it going straight. A little bounce there at that hole at the finish line, and he pulls it through.
Everybody's getting bounced around a lot, and now a guy coming back for his second shot, Arnold McIntyre.
Okay, his first round time was 3.72. Now, if he can do it, might have learned something from his first round. Pretty good hole shot, but he hit that little bump there in the starting line. Oh, throws his back end around a little bit, a little squirrely, but 3.68, he beat his first time.
He sure did. Bouncing around a lot, and that's a big guy in that Toyota.
Of course, right down there, as you'll see at the finish line, there's a big old hole, and that's what threw his back end up in the air like that to get a little squirrely.
Okay, Arnold, I think you'd had a real good time, but it looks pretty rough at the start of the track.
Yeah, it was a little squirrely at the beginning. Towards the end, got the big hump, and a little squirrely too.
Now, were you right in the ruts, or did you get out of them a little bit?
Right on the start line, I got out a little bit.
Well, now it's going to be Randy George in his second run out of Franklin, Georgia in Mudaholic.
He's purging his nitrous oxide, getting it ready to go, because you're going to need every bit of that to get a good run here. 3.75 is his first round, and boy, it sounds like he's going to have that beat.
Good run. Well, he's actually a little bit off that pace, at 3.85.
I would have guessed it would have been a little faster because he had a good start. And look, he stayed out of everybody's ruts, and he just skimmed right across the top to the right-hand side. He did hit that wall on the right-hand side, which nobody's been at before, but he come across with a good run.
Well, look at this shot. Here's our leader. He's got his truck already up on the trailer. Richard Larson, he feels, I guess, that a 3.52 is going to be a winning time. We'll find out. Let's go down to Mike.
You had the fastest time in the first round, and early on in the second round, everybody got slower. You decided not to run. Why is that?
Well, take a chance on tearing stuff up if you run again. I already had the fastest time. I didn't feel like that anybody that ran after me would be able to run a faster time. If somebody before me had run, then I could, go ahead and choose to run. But I decided to go ahead and pass. No sense in tearing up. I got a $20,000 motor and stuff. There's no sense in tearing it up.
Well, we'll have to see if that time's going to hold up for Richard Larson. And next, it's Bobby Arthur in his second run, ready to go. He was in second place with a 3.65, driving Mud Light. Let's find out how well he's going to do. The young man out of Prattsville, Alabama.
That's Chevy Love, and he's a little slow off the starting line. I'm not sure if it's going to be that good of a run. Nice and straight, but I think his starting line hurt him.
It looked like he got caught up in the ruts. Yeah, 3.91, a little bit slower.
Yeah, we'll see right here at the beginning. He nails it, and he slides down into that hole, and right there he's lost some time already. So it's kind of hard to make it up once you don't get your momentum going. He's straddling them ruts, doing a good job doing that, but not quite good enough.
He looked like a leaping frog, and so our final results here. It's Richard Larson taking the win with a 3.52 and USA 1 with a second from Bobby Arthur, and then third place, Paul Taylor. All right, Mike Goss has the winner.
Okay, Richard Larson with a 352 is the winner here at Coweta. Now, Richard, this is a pretty good field of vehicles, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. A lot of competition down here tonight. A lot of competition. I think most I've ever run against down here tonight for the Nationals.
Okay. I understand your truck's for sale.
Yes, sir. I'd like to move up to the open class.
Well, that's just what we're going to do here on the Nashville Network. And the Mud Bog Nationals will continue with action from the open carburetor class in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Coweta Raceway Park. Stan Rhodes and Rich Hooser here. And we're here for the American Outlaw Super Shootout, the 5th annual Mud Bog Nationals. Ready for round one of the open carburetor class. And this should be an interesting race. As we see Bucky Dillard from Panama City, Florida in Rattler 2. Kind of looks like a Jeep.
Yeah, you got a good shot of their tires there. Paddle tires in the rear and more of a tractor style in the front. And this they just scoot right across the top of it. A lot of horsepower in this class, Stan.
Oh, you're right. Scoot is the right word. 2.77, about 1 whole second faster than the modified.
And look at the rooster tails shooting up. Now, when them guys shoot them rooster tails up with that mud, you know they're getting a lot of traction and a lot of tire speed. Now, he gets up against that wall a little bit, but he's able to hang on and take it through the finish line.
Well, that 2.77 was close to a track record, and here's a guy who would love to get that track record in Dixieland Express, Dennis McCullum.
Of course, we got a shot of them front tires a minute ago, and you seen it look like they were running backwards as far as directional tires. That helps him steer through this mud, which he had to do a little of there.
Well, 2.99, a little bit off the pace.
All right, watch what happens here. As soon as he hits that mud, look at that, he gets a little sideways. Now, there's where his steering helps. Now, there's also a lower gear ratio in the front, so it can actually pull the front tires while he's turning.
Unbelievable how fast these babies go. Now it's Scott Cluxton, another guy out of Florida, Panama City, Florida, Rattler 1. I guess this is a Corvette.
Yeah, it looks like a Corvette. Now, a little sideways there. That's not going to be a very good run there, Stan. He got sideways too quick.
It cost him 3.49 for Scott Cluxton.
Started the starting line there, got caught in them ruts and just couldn't get out. Threw him sideways up against the wall, and it was just too late to do anything about it.
It was all over for him. So now, we'll see how well Terry McClendon's going to do. He calls his vehicle Sleeper, and I'm sure he will do anything but sleep.
It's another Jeep body here, all fiberglass. You can see the paddle tires in the back and the same kind of tires in the front. Oh, great hole shot there. He comes skimming across the top. Front end just hardly touching that mud, Stan.
He looked like he was moving, but yet just a 2.99 on this run.
It sure looked a lot better than that. He must have been a little slow at the start, but he sure took off good. Good rooster tails, a nice straight run. He didn't get up against that wall or anything. He hits that bump at the end of the track, but that's at the finish line.
Well, next it's going to be the guy that holds the track record in this division, Joe Kinzer. He's out of Marietta, Georgia, in Bad Agent.
He's a wild one, too, Stan. These guys all been talking about this guy. He gets behind the wheel. Look out, stand back, and you can see what he's doing. A wild run there. Nice and fast run, too.
Well, 2.89. He really let it go.
Yeah, it's not good enough to take the win. He got up in the air there. See, when the front end's up in the air, he's losing some traction, so he's losing time.
Let's check in with Mike Goss at trackside.
JoJo, you're the track record holder, but it didn't look like you got the launch you were looking for.
No, I think I held it just a little bit too long. Creeped just a little before I left. Need to just be a little bit more on time, and we'll get it right next pass.
So the current track record holder isn't too happy, but Enos Thomas is pulling his Murphy's Law into place. He's out of Grovetown, Georgia. Time to beat. It's 2.77, Rich.
Good running truck. If anybody can do it, he can. An excellent start. Oh, a nice straight run.
Oh, that looks fast.
What's the time of it?
Oh, 2.69. That's going to put him in the first. That's a new track record.
Did he beat JoJo's track record? Look at the rooster tails that vehicle shooting up in the air. Straight run. Notice how he was way over to the right-hand side, and he stayed there. New track record, 2.69.
Good run for Enos Thomas.
And, of course, this is the end of the first round. Now, second round's coming up, Stan. Now, these guys, if they want to, they can have a chance to come back and try to better their time.
So there you see the Mud Puppy Dana Watson clearing out the laser timing device. And here we have the round one standings. It is Enos Thomas in Murphy's Law with a 2.69, a new track record. He's followed by Bucky Dillard in Rattler 2, and then Joe Kinzer not far behind in Bad Agent. And now, coming up, James Guilfoyle. He's out of Woodstock, Georgia, in Born to Boogie.
This Camaro, it looks like it has a little front end damage here a little bit. He might have gone a little fast, and it looks like he's got a good run so far here, Stan, running them paddle tires all the way around.
Good run. Hey, not bad. 2.72 for James Guilfoyle.
Well, and you can see he's wrapping that motor now. A little bit of oil coming out the exhaust, but I don't believe he done any damage to the engine.
Well, he's done well. He was the 1988 points champ, so he knows how to drive that vehicle. Here's another guy who knows how to drive quick and nasty. Gary Kane out of Lawrenceville, Georgia.
His first round time was a 3.41. Now, a little bit slow off the starting line. I think that's going to hurt him. Oh, it's hard to say on that run there, Stan, but I think he's...
Yeah.
Oh,
he's a little bit slower, 3.02, and he needed to get to beat the time at 2.69, and just did not quite have it there for Gary Kane. Quick and nasty, but a pretty good run nonetheless.
Yeah, Lee, just the starting line is where he lost it right there.
Well, Enos Thomas, I'm sure is pretty happy with what he's got after the first round. So there he is in first place with a 2.69, followed by James Guilfoyle and Born to Boogie 2.72, and then Bucky Dillard in third. And here are some other second round standings. And Rich, Enos Thomas has decided to say goodbye.
Yes, Dan, what he's doing is he's got that fast time now. It's a new track record. And I'm pretty sure that he thinks that nobody's going to beat that track record.
Well, Rich, one more vehicle to go.
Of course, Bad Agent, he's coming up again here. JoJo, he's a wild runner here. His first time was a 2.89. Now, this guy, he wants to beat that time. He wants to get his track record back. He's going to have a hard time doing it, I think. Oh, he gets a little sideways there at the end. He doesn't do it, Stan. Only
Nope.
a 297. Now, he started off on that right-hand side, same place Enos did. He thought he could do it, but look, he got down in the middle. He got too crooked, and as soon as he hit that wall right there, it threw him up on the side, but it was still a pretty good run.
Well, Joe Kinzer came close to flipping it, but there you have it. Final results. Enos Thomas, 2.69. He's the winner in Murphy's Law, and it has been a great competition. There you see the
You
run.
can see his run right there, Stan. Great rooster tails. Right there again, it looked like he hit another gear, and it was just perfect.
All right, let's go down. Mike Goss has the winner at trackside.
Here's your winner, Enos Thomas, with a new track record here at Coweta Raceway. Now, Enos, you had a different strategy when you lined up in the first round.
Right. When everybody ran, I drew next to the last number of the night. So I watched everybody run, and everybody ran the same ruts. And for those cars to really hook and run right, you need fresh mud on the tires. So I took a chance and went all the way over to the right side of the track, and it worked.
Now, we were watching you back here in the pits after the first run. You put it on the trailer.
Yep.
You must have been pretty confident it would hold up.
I was pretty sure it would.
Well, congratulations once again to our winner, Enos Thomas. Join us next week on the Nashville Network for Trucks and Tractor Power. For Rich Hooser and Mike Goss, I'm Stan Rhodes. So long from Newnan, Georgia.